Okay, I'm going to call this, is your golf swing a Frankenstein monster? And by that I mean, does your golf swing the result of, well, somebody told me that I had to do this part, and then I have to do this part, and then I need to drop my elbow in, and then I need to do all these, things. So your golf swing is a sequence of different parts that you've pieced together through ideas, either of your own or other people. And does that work very well? Probably not. So how do you get yourself out of that? Let's say you have a pieced together swing and you probably have some fixed ideas, things you won't let go of, ideas about what a swing is. So how would you get out of it? So here's my method, and that's what I've sort of built this for. So the backstory to my trainer is I was asked to teach a 13-year-old girl how to golf, and when she showed up I said, well, let me see you swing a golf club, and she had a just really not using the body at all, just hitting at the ball with her hands, which a lot of people start with, right? So I thought, well, I could do the things that people normally do, like good golf begins with a good grip, and I would teach her the grip, and you have to hold it like this, and you have to stand like this, and you have to do all these other static things to get yourself all ready to move. But the problem seemed to me that she already isn't moving, and now I'm adding a bunch of static elements that will only make it more hard and confusing. And then those static elements are now fixed things that are getting in the way of her movement in a way, or even knowing where her movement should be. How can you create a movement around a bunch of static things? So I thought, what if I go the opposite direction entirely? And that's what I built this for. So I thought, what if you make the fundamental thing movement, and not movement driven by an exterior structure, which you've seen, plane trainers, right? Where you're conforming to this circle, not somebody else's circle, making your own circle. So I thought, well, if I make this, first of all, make something heavy that that just basically sets you up for a lot of good things in a golf swing, because you need to swing a golf club as if it's heavy. You need to use your bigger muscles. You need to learn how to sequence, create a good sort of throwing motion, counterbalance the weight of the club, do all these sorts of things that you will just naturally do when something is heavy. When you pick up something light, your impulse might be like, well, this is a light, kind of a lighter thing. This is more like I'm gonna use my arm to do this, which doesn't produce good golf shots. So that was the first part. And then I thought, well, still, can I get rid of more conscious instruction? Can I really keep all of that stuff more underneath? So I thought, well, if I make the handles such that your arms just naturally go this way, which is what people instructing golf is, to move your elbows down. But now you don't have to consciously keep putting your elbows down. They just want to be there. So your elbows are down. You have a nice triangle. You're probably not doing this because, again, the weight is keeping you extended. And then finally, well, not finally, but then you're swinging and letting your big muscles work instead of trying to drive this with your arms. If you give somebody that's very strong this object, they will attempt to use their arms against their body, but if you said do that for 10 minutes, they would wear out, and so then they would be, so if you tell them, now do it with the least amount of energy, least amount of effort you can put into it, then suddenly you start getting a good motion that's efficient. So the advantage of efficiency is it leaves you, if you're more efficient, you can create more speed with the same amount of energy. So putting more energy into an efficient swing then adds more speed. And also, if you can contain the amount of energy to not be at the limit, you're much more in control of everything. So there's that. So you're all set up, and then you just have a very simple task, which is basically drawing a half circle. And if you're drawing that half circle, to make a good half circle, you're not going to do this either, because that's not a half circle anymore. That's sort of this shape that is out of shape. So in order to keep it moving around, you're going to brace this way, which is what you want. Brace against the backswing, and then brace against the through swing. So basically you've got most of what you need for a motion already. And the hands don't need to do much more. The club will just travel farther, but you don't have to consciously cock your wrists or do anything or try to hinge more. Just go to where you feel the club create a pause or want to turn around. I like to, as a little variation myself, I prefer a little loop, because I think a loop is a little bit of a better motion. It's more continuous, more fluid. So instead of going on a perfect path, which seems like the logical thing, I'll go a little up and under, up and over, and then from the inside, which is a better path for me anyway. So a little bit that way for me. But now you've got your basic motion, and then you can just finish that basic motion like that. So now I have it built into my body, the feeling of a proper, effective golf swing. And then I just have to take my club now, and there's no parts anymore. There's no parts. There's just one fluid motion. I'm going to just use that one fluid motion again. And initially, imagine I'm still swinging that trainer. That will smooth out some parts where there might be a impulse to do something, because you're not going to add this hit impulse with a 10-pound object. You're just going to swing it through. So I'm going to swing it through, swing it through, swing it through. And then I just keep that feeling in my mind and move that to the ball. And now just move that motion through the ball. So there you go. That's basically what you need. And then I hit that one a little thin, so move that motion through the ball, but now don't change the motion. Just stand a little bit closer. So I wasn't close enough. I kept my motion, but I wasn't close enough. I was slightly too close on that one. So I hit it just a fraction fat, but I didn't alter my motion. So one more time, get it in the right place, the right balance. And that one was perfect. So there's the basic idea. And then here's where you'll stumble. Is when you put the ball in front of yourself, you'll want to revert to your pattern, whatever it is, because now you have an idea already, and so you have to very consciously bypass that idea and say, no, I'm moving this motion that I've now created through the ball. I'm going to show you one more thing. So this is also, I did a video the other day, it's also how to get from practice swing to hitting a ball, where your practice swing seems unencumbered, and then people say, well, maybe the face isn't square. I don't think that's it. I think what it is it's your intention, or your attention has shifted. You've shifted from attending to a motion to attending, focusing on the ball. So I'm going to show you what a swing looks like if I focus on the ball as my target here. So this will be my swing with the poor, what I think is the improper focus. So I'm focusing on the ball. And what I feel when I do that is, when I get to the ball, I'm done. So I'm not attending to this going up, turning around, coming back and going through. I'm attending to hitting this thing and not really finishing, and very likely flipping a little bit because I've stopped. So now I'll show you the other version. So in this version, all the way through, my consciousness is now going to be on the club head. So watch how this looks different. So all the way through. And even in this part especially, this is where you'll lose it. So you'll focus all the way, and this is what I do. You'll focus pretty good on your motion all the way till you get to the ball, and then you'll attend to it and want to see where it goes, which is kind of a version of where people say don't look up, but what they really mean is, what the better instruction is, don't shift your attention to hitting the ball. Keep your attention on moving your motion through the ball. So I'll do one more and really feel, and you have to go back and forth and really watch. Now swing the trainer, swing the club, swing it, move your motion through the ball. Are they really all the same? Really, really all the same. Like attend very carefully and see, is that really the same, or was there a little moment, right? And you're just going to let that moment go. And really, when you get to the point that you're surprised almost that you hit it, that's where you want to be. It feels like you're almost surprised, like you notice after the fact, like, oh, I hit the ball. After the fact, like you weren't there. You're just in the club head. So by the time that ball is hit, I feel like I'm moving. It feels like, obviously not, but it feels like I'm way out here. I'm already moving through it. My mind is moving through it, not stopping at that point. So there you go.